Every year for the last 15 years, my best friend Dave and I go on one big bucket list buddy trip. We've done safaris, wonders of the world, waterfalls, helicopters, and this year, all Dave said to me was he wanted to see Korea and do some bad mamma jamma bucket list flights. So 24,754 miles, 500,000 points, 12 nights, 5 countries, 5 first-class cabins, 2 business-class cabins, multiple airports, currencies, languages, best bars in the world, and memories that will last a lifetime later. This is what we did. Sit back, relax, and watch the power of points and miles in action. I hope you enjoy this. I hope it inspires you to get out, to go see the world. And if you want more in-depth reviews of each flight and how we booked it, all of the links are going to be down below. Sit back, relax. Thank you very much. And thank you, Dave, for being my best friend and for sharing these incredible moments together. All right, without further ado, let's pick it up in Atlanta.
BA Club Suites. We're in Atlanta. You see? And then what are we connecting in London to?
Well, we're jumping on a gel business first class flights. Yeah, that's right.
A350 1000, the new one. We're pivoting over there, doing a little positioning. So BA Club Suites to Japan Airlines first class. It's gonna be a long day. Let's go.
All right, let's try and get some shut-eye. Ultimately, I got about 4 hours. I had to sleep slightly at an angle, which is a bummer since it is a lie flat seat. So I give it a little bit, okay. 1-2-1 configuration. Let's grab the amenity kit, head to the bathroom, brush the teeth. Here is a little tip. Never use the bathroom water because it's not really potable.
Okay, so now we go through immigration, and then we're going to go over to the Hilton Garden Inn, A350 1000, just arrived in Heathrow. We got like 7 hours. Let's go. Well, as you can see, Dave made it. Headed to London, Tokyo. Let's go. Here's the Hilton Garden Inn. That's Terminal 2. So we walked, you had to go all the way down to the bottom level, and departures at 3, and then just walk over. It's about 10-ish. I'll share on the way back over, but off to our day room. Jolly 350!
All right, Dave and I here at Terminal 2, the Hilton Garden Inn. We're at the roof, and they have this massive bar here you can see called the Runway Bar, and you can see why. We got a few hours to kill. We got a day room here, 99 pounds, and we're just doing a little plane spotting before we hop on Japan Airlines first class on the A350. Not excited about this one at all. This might be the world's best first. It might be.
Can't wait to find out.
This is a big trip. We flew over here earlier today on BA Club Suites from Atlanta to position. We had about 7 hours in between, so we grabbed a room here, and we're gonna head over to Terminal 3 shortly. Maybe check out the Cathay Lounge, maybe check out the Qantas Lounge, and then let the festivities begin on our 14-hour jaunt to Tokyo Haneda on that beautiful A350 1000 by Japan Airlines. So, all right, let's go over there. I'll show you how to get over from 2 to 3 on the little underground tunnel. We'll be over checked in and doing a little lounge action. See you soon. Okay, so we're heading over, leaving Hilton Garden Inn. You literally just go straight over this way, take an elevator down, and you'll see it's so easy to get over to Terminal 3. All right, we're off. Out of the lounge. We are off and running, Dave. Woo! Very excited. Very, very excited.
Japan Airlines offers 2 different styles of eating. You have Western and Japanese, and I would highly recommend doing the Japanese tasting menu. It's 8 different courses, and every single course offers several different items, including a 100th anniversary habiki, a chichibu. These are retailing for about $500. You can actually buy the 100th anniversary to take home. After dinner, I asked them to make my suite into a bed, which you can see is absolutely enormous. And you can choose whether you want a bed and a seat, or if you just want to make it into one massive bed. After sleeping for about 5 or 6 hours, we actually got to utilize one of the empty suites in 1K where they had a surprise for Dave's birthday. A little keepsake bag tag, a really cool little plane. They signed everything. How cool is that? Just shows you how exceptional the service is and also how sad we were to have to pack up and leave after 14 hours. It just was not enough. But we're gonna have to touch base with Dave because it is his birthday. We're gonna have to see, is this the best first class in the world?
It's hard to compare because you've got showers, you've got...
to be able to compare them. Well, we're gonna tonight. Scary. Despite having just over 24 hours in Tokyo, we made the best of it. We decided to stay at the Hyatt Centric, which is located in Ginza, a fantastic area in the city, and the hotel really surprised both Dave and I. It was a unique room. It's a category 7, so you are going to shell out about 30,000 points a night. But we woke up bright and early the next morning, grabbed some breakfast, and we headed straight out to the Chujiji, gosh, I cannot say these names, outer market, which is like the most famous fish market in all of Tokyo. We tried some fatty tuna. We tried these special strawberries. Highly recommend going over there, but you know what I would say is skip breakfast and eat there. That's what I wish that we would have done. We didn't do that. But with our bellies full of the hotel breakfast and everything from the fish market, we moseyed over to the Hamariko Gardens, which is about a 5-minute walk away from the fish market. We then hopped into a taxi to head over to Shibuya Crossing, where we popped up to the Starbucks. Now, there are some better areas to actually view Shibuya, but I would highly recommend walking through, being a part of the mayhem, and then I actually had a refreshing drink at Starbucks as we watched everyone go through. The one big regret, though, I did not bring an international driving license, so that meant that I couldn't participate, and neither could Dave in the Mario Kart. You see these guys driving all over the city. It looks super fun, and it's on my bucket list, and can you believe it? I forgot to bring an international driver's license, which you need in order to do that. We also went to Harajuku and Takashita Street. We also tried an unbelievable place called Afuri, which is a noodle bar that we just kind of stumbled upon. It had a big line outside, and the ramen there was outstanding. I'd highly recommend going in one of the big golf stores if you stumble upon them, because it just has all sorts of stuff that you would never find back in the States. They're really, really cool, both in Japan and Korea. And we finished off our day at Sushi Punch, which is a rising star of a restaurant in Tokyo. It was highly recommended by a friend of mine who knows his fish. And this place, we did omakase. It was delicious. It was, it must have been 15 to 20 courses. You're sitting right at the sushi bar with the chef. It's an unbelievable experience. It's on like the 4th or 5th floor, kind of hidden, but just look up Sushi Punch. We got lucky and made reservations on the website. And that, my friends, is Tokyo in 2 minutes. All right, we are headed to Korea. Dave's heading out the door. He doesn't know, but we're flying Asiana down to Seoul. We're heading over. We're going to try and take the high-speed train. But he doesn't know that I didn't just book us business class, which is like $350 for the flight, so pretty cheap. I put us in the business studio suite, which means, or the business suite? I think it's just business suite. I'm throwing in studio. Anyways, he doesn't know that I put us in that, which is their old first class monster seat. So he just walked out. So this is gonna be a good surprise. I love a surprise. Okay, let's go check it out. We're headed over to the Tokyo Station, high-speed train. Let's go. We are all checked in, and now we are headed through security, and because we're in business, we got the gold track. So Star Alliance has a fast track for business first and then elite status. Here we go. The moment of truth. Dave has no idea. None. It's a special one. Is it first? Yeah. Oh gosh. It's called the business suite. Business suite. And so business class was upstairs, and Asiana did away with first class. And so it's like a special upgrade. And you can do this, it's like business class service, but it's in their first class suite. So this is, they don't do it anymore, but it's like they offer this like the big international routes and everything. I've always wanted to do it. And when it opened up, I was like, oh dude, we have to do it. What you're going to get is just a ton more space. You're going to get the private suites. You're going to have only 12 people in the cabin, so it's going to be significantly quieter. On the long haul flights, I think if that is within your budget to splurge and spend a little bit more and you're trying to get extra rest, or maybe you don't want to get sick, so there's not as many people, I would probably pull the trigger. The cabin feels a little bit dated. It reminds me a lot of Etihad's old 777 first class with the doors, with the instrumentation panels, with the IFE. It really reminds me of that. But you do get a lot more space, you get a lot more privacy, and it's up to you whether you think it's worth the money. I would be very tempted to pull the trigger. I mean, you don't need any of this, but all in to be somewhere like the 450 range, I think, not bad. Not a huge splurge and super fun. So follow along. We'll be in Seoul. We're going to be at the Park Hyatt in Seoul. So take a look at that and all the fun things to do in Seoul. And I've been to Korea, so it's first time. Thank you. Now into the city. Seoul has been very good to us. Leaving the Park Hyatt here. We are headed off to the airport. We're gonna go check out Singapore. We got the Singapore 787-10 biz down there. Come along with us, check out the lounge here in Seoul, and then Singapore for a couple nights, and then we're off to India. Come along. In Seoul, we chose the Park Hyatt Seoul, which is a fantastic property, stunning with a rooftop pool overlooking the city, beautiful rooms. We used a suite upgrade actually to have a stunning view. Now, while we were in the city, we had 2 full days. We used that to go see the Gyeongbok Palace. I have no idea if I'm saying that right, but it was pouring down rain, unfortunately. Every picture you see of this place is stunningly beautiful. It was quite miserable when we went on our tour. We also took the opportunity to go see the Joyesa Buddhist temple. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that either as well, so please forgive me. We had Michelin star ginseng chicken soup. We walked down the Bukchong village, which is one of the most iconic landscape pictures that you'll see of Seoul, Korea. And, you know, if I were to come back, I would potentially look at staying at the Andaz, which is in a more city central location, still within Gangnam, but I would probably look to stay there because it's walking distance to a lot of restaurants and a lot of nightlife. In particular, 2 of the world's 50 best bars are there, and we took the opportunity to check both of those out. One is called Alice, and it's actually kind of hidden. You go down a staircase, and it's all Alice in Wonderland themed. This is my favorite of the 2. It is so unique in the way that it prepares the drinks and the actual vibe inside. The other one is just a little bit down the street, and it actually kind of reminds me of a Park Hyatt. It's very minimalist. It's very almost like cement and concrete and hard. It also has food. It's called Zest. Zest is actually more highly ranked than Alice, but I just liked Alice better. I like the vibe, and I actually like the cocktails better. We also got to go to the DMZ. Now, this is going to take basically a full day because it's about an 1.5 to 2 hour drive north of the city. This is the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. We heard epic stories of everything that's been happening on this border between these 2 countries, and we got to go down a deep tunnel. Now, the one thing is I don't have any footage because they don't allow any photographs, they don't allow any pictures, so all I really have is where you buy tickets and a couple of little things where I stuck a couple photos. But I would highly recommend going up here. If you've never been to South Korea, I would highly recommend going up and checking out the DMZ. We went down a deep tunnel. It was really interesting hearing all the history, and you do go to a viewing platform where you can look through telescopes over to North Korea. So you're actually looking right at North Korea. I just don't have any footage of it because it wasn't allowed. All right, we're headed to Singapore. Stick with us.
just thought I lost this camera. We're all checked in. How you feeling?
I'm good.
I feel pretty. 5 in the morning, feel pretty good. It's bright too. All right, let's go check out that Singapore lounge here at ICN, and then there's also maybe we'll pop into the Asiana lounge too. So head and do security. We got 2 options. I hope it's fast. I think it will be.
Since we're flying on a Star Alliance member airline, Singapore Airlines, we could go to the Asiana and the Singapore lounges, and we checked out both. Personally, I think the Singapore lounge is cooler than the Asiana lounge, but that's just my own personal opinion. But let's hop on Singapore Airlines business class upon the 787-10 for the 7.5-hour jaunt from Seoul, Korea down to Singapore. As you can see, the cabin is in a 1-2-1 configuration, and Dave and I chose the last row in the cabin. It is kind of tight, but when you're in these really close seats, you actually get a nice little aisle. The food is fantastic, the service is excellent, and we had a choice with this because we booked it through American Express. We both have Amex Business Platinums, so we could either redeem for 1.5 cents or pay cash. It was around $1,000 or 65,000 American Express points. You could also redeem through Singapore KrisFlyer if the space is available.
Awesome flight.
So I really hem and hawed on where to stay in Singapore this time around. We ended up going back to the Intercontinental because, one, you could use a free night certificate at 40,000 points and add 10,000 points to it, or if you don't have any IHG points, you could often buy them for half penny a point throughout the year, which means that 50,000 points or under is less than $250. Plus, I have an IHG Rewards Select card, which gives me 10% back. So that's like $225 a night for a very nice hotel that is located very centrally. I actually was thinking heavily about the JW Marriott Singapore. It's right around the corner. It's very close to Raffles. It's very close to the marina. It's close to Marina Bay Sands. And I think if I were to go back, I would choose a JW Marriott. But as soon as we got there and checked in, we headed over to Atlas Bar, which is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. This is also one of the world's 50 best bars. It's 1920s inspired. It has European cuisine, afternoon tea, and it's completely Art Deco in style. It is a must do if you've never been to Singapore. It is stunning. I'd highly recommend the afternoon tea, even though I didn't have it. I saw multiple tables and it looks incredible. If you've never been to Singapore, you have to go to Marina Bay Sands. It's a massive kind of casino / shopping mall / hotel. The rooftop has infinity pools. There's bars and restaurants. The shopping is second to none. Goes from very, very high end to you can go to the food court and have fruit juices. You can have food from all over the world. You can have ice cream. It's just a cool place to go walk around, and it's right next to Gardens by the Bay. This is one of the most iconic places in Singapore. It has the cloud forest, which we went and walked around. It is such a cool place, and if you're a little bit afraid of heights, then you might not want to go up on those little bridges. I'd also recommend going to see the Flower Dome. Now, I've been here in the past when they had a Van Gogh exhibit, and the flowers were all arranged in Van Gogh paintings. It was absolutely spectacular. And if you've never been before, I would also recommend seeing the super tree groves, which you can go to the top of them. We didn't do that this time, but it's a cool thing to go and do. One of the most famous things in Singapore are all of the hawker food stalls. We went to the Maxwell Food Center and tried Michelin-starred chicken. I think it was like $5 or something for this plate. It's the Chin Chin Hainanese chicken. I don't even know if I'm saying that properly. This is terrible, but it was absolutely delicious. But there's a ton of food stalls in there. I'd highly recommend doing that as well. And then you can walk across the street into Chinatown, which is just a really cool place to walk around and see as well. You could also get a foot massage, which Dave and I did. And we ended the day by heading over to Raffles, one of the most famous places to go because they have the iconic Long Bar, which is where they invented the Singapore sling. It's also one of the few places in Singapore, maybe the only place where you can litter. You can throw your peanut shells on the ground, which is what basically everybody does. And we managed to squeeze in one more World's 50 Best bar, which is called Jigger and Pony. And that basically wraps up our 36 hours in Singapore. All right, let's head to the airport, and we're going to fly the iconic Singapore suite. So stick along for this ride to Mumbai.
Checking out of the Intercontinental here in Singapore. It's a beautiful day out there. And we are headed to the Singapore airport for a very, very special experience. Singapore Suites. I've had this booked. This is the 4th time, but we may actually be able to do it today. A380. We've got 1 and 2. Dave doesn't really know that it drops down in between. It's gonna be kind of funny because it makes one bed.
The Singapore Airlines first class experience starts the minute you get to the airport. There's a private first class terminal where they greet you, take your bags in, have a private check-in, and there's a beautiful lobby that you can hang out in. Let's have a celebratory toast of some fancy schmancy champagne while we take the tour of the private room. As I mentioned, there is a business class, a first class, and then this private room that is only and exclusively for first class passengers that are departing Singapore Airport. There's a private dining room with waiter service. There's all sorts of different places where you can sit, an entire refrigerated wine area so you can see all the different selections. But let's rejoin Dave for some signature chicken satay.
There's our chicken satay, you can see. This is like one of the iconic Singapore Airlines dishes.
Of course, if you have access to the private room, you can also make use of the first class lounge where there's a buffet, lots of nice little bites and snacks and sushi and anything you'd want.
We got 35 minutes to departure. I'm so excited. I think Dave is very excited now after that lounge experience. I think we're in for a treat. A big treat. We're about to board. Oh, goodness. About to board, about to board, about to board.
Now, to put things in perspective, there are 6 suites on the upper deck of the A380. And just so you understand, Emirates has 14 of these suites in the same space. And Emirates is super nice, as you can see, super duper nice. How about the Etihad Apartments? There are 9 seats and a residence in the same amount of space. And you can see how big and nice these apartments are. So when I tell you that this is an insane amount of space, it's an insane amount of space. But let's take a look at this suite. It is, my mind is honestly blown, as you can see from my face.
This is very, very flavorful. One of the things that I think that I have enjoyed most on this trip are these soups, whether it's in Japan or Korea or Singapore. They're just hitting the soups out of the park. Okay, so as you can see, I did book the cook and I got the lobster thermidor, which is one of the signature dishes of Singapore Airlines book to cook. I mean, that's just nutty, right? Nutty.
Let's check out what this suite turns into when it's time to sleep. As you can see, the middle partition actually folds out to create 2 twin beds. You can still get up and walk around. That's the size of this suite. It's absolutely enormous, but there is a gap in between the 2 twin beds. I was not planning on sleeping on this because it's a day flight, but let's pop back in because there was something special on the old telly.
So I clearly don't want to break any kind of copyright issue. However, my wife's episode of Superman and Lois is on the flight. Well, I think both of us are a little bit sad that this flight is over, but on to Mumbai. Let's go check out the Taj Mahal Palace. Wonderful flight. Hope you enjoyed the entire experience as much as we did. You should 100% do it. Okay, let's go into Mumbai.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes a city is chosen because that's where you can find incredible award availability. That was the case with Mumbai. You can fly those Singapore suites to Mumbai and Delhi, and you can find a lot of award space at the cheapest rates. Dave and I had already been to Delhi because we went to go see the Taj Mahal over a decade ago, which is about 3 hours, 4 hours south in Agra. So this time we chose to go to Mumbai. I've also wanted to stay at the Taj Mahal Palace. It's been on my bucket list, and this is the perfect opportunity to do it. It did not come cheap. Our room was almost $600 and something for the night, but we stayed in one of their named suites, which was beautiful. The hotel is right across the street from the Gateway of India, which is also iconic. But the weirdest thing happened when we were staying at the hotel, and why I don't have more footage. I was stopped very early the morning after we arrived while I was filming different areas of the hotel and was told, do not film here. And it was very, there was no room for negotiation. And I said, well, are pictures okay? He said, oh yeah, pictures are absolutely fine, just no filming. I would imagine that this is in response to the prior terrorist attacks that date all the way back to 2008, which we won't go into. And things like this have happened before on planes and hotels where I've been asked not to film. Totally understand it, but it's why I don't have more footage and why I have more images. I really wanted to film the pool because the pool is stunning and it has a net over it, which is something I have not seen in any other hotel that I've ever been to, where the entire outside has a netting so that things can't fall down into the pool. But I do want to say two things. There are two parts of the hotel. There's the old palace, and then there's also the towers. Now, the towers are going to be in a newly constructed, or well, it was constructed in 1972. The palace itself, which is where we stayed, is from 1903. Personally, I think if you're going to stay here, spend the money and stay in the old wing, which is like the heritage wing. That's where you have all of the ornate structures. It's stunningly beautiful. And this is if you're going to take a tour of the hotel, which we did, which lasts between an hour and an hour and a half and took up a large portion of our time while we were in Mumbai. They're going to show you all over the heritage part. So you might as well splurge and stay there. Now, if you're looking to stay other places in Mumbai, if you want to still stay down in this general area, you could stay at the Oberoi for probably a third of the price, and it is beautiful. And I've stayed at multiple other Oberois in the past, and they are unparalleled when it comes to service. Think Amman, think Six Senses, think Alila. They are fantastic, fantastic properties. If you want to stay closer to the airport, more in the financial district or the downtown city center, the Four Seasons and the St. Regis, if you're looking for 5-star, again, a third of the price. You're talking probably somewhere between $150 and $250 for a night. And if you book through one of the premium programs like Virtuoso or Fine Hotels and Resorts, you'd even get a ton of benefits on top of that. So those are where I would go and stay if I were to come back to Mumbai at some point in the future. But we flew here for Singapore Suites, and now we're headed back home. We're routing through Dubai, so come with us to the airport as we fly on Emirates' newest business class product. It's only featured on the A350-900s, which is why, again, we wanted to come to Mumbai, because we wanted to experience two of these special flights. Then connecting in Dubai onward to the A380-800 on Emirates with the shower suites in first class. So come along, let's pick it up on Emirates A350-900 to Dubai. Now, if you've flown Emirates business class before, this is going to look pretty familiar, but updated. You got new 4K TVs. You can see all of the different finishes are a little bit more updated. You've got wireless charging. You have a nice display to control everything, and you have a nice bar, all updated colors. I think it's the toned down Emirates in terms of the wood tones, all of the colors. I really like this evolution of the product compared to the really gold blingy that we're going to be seeing on the A380-800. Now, if you're thinking, Zach, how many points did you guys spend, because you're flying with points and taxes and fees from Mumbai to Dubai to Toronto. So I made use of Emirates Skywards Plus, and Dave and I booked our tickets together. Now, I found business class all the way from Mumbai to Dubai to Toronto, and because I had Skywards Plus, we got 20% off. So that knocked the price down to about $110,000. Plus, we had the taxes and fees, which are egregious. They were about $1,100 a piece. All in all, it's about $1,300 and 180,000 points, which is just a lot. So that's how we booked it. So we are almost into Dubai. The seat itself is more comfortable. That full bed mode. The club suites, as well as the other Super Diamond products that I've flown here recently, food was excellent. I love that they've got even the little snack thing. I mean, this is a 3-hour flight. 3-hour flight, champagne, amazing food. We're headed into Dubai. We're going to go over to the first class lounge. I believe that our flight to Toronto departs out of Terminal 3, so come along. Maybe we get a golf cart. It'd be pretty fun. Maybe we get a golf cart. Let's go check it out.
Okay, you definitely know you're spoiled when you get off the plane and you're like, where's my golf cart sign? David and I were both looking for our names on signs, because typically when you get off of a flight and you're connecting into first, they put you in a golf cart and drive you to the lounge.
That is not what happened.
And just so you can see here, we're in the golf cart lane. We're walking. So off to the first class lounge. We'll hang out there for a little bit. And who knows, maybe they'll put us in a golf cart there. Maybe there's going to be another place that we can hop in. I know there are some other spots, but typically they're standing there right with a sign. But okay, we found the lounge. It was like maybe a 5-minute walk. So there's a pretty good reason, but here it is. We're going up. Here we go, Dave. You ready? Oh, it was on your crotch. Here we go. Here we go, first class lounge. This is the big boy too. This is the big boy.
So we
just left Mumbai where we had a massage in the lounge. You can see this lounge is so big that we actually traversed the airport. So that's the lounge there on this side and that side, and it goes all the way down there. And it's just a huge, big, massive, fine dining. Pretty nice. Oh, they got that Dalmore on Freeport. That's good stuff too. This up here, these are hotel rooms that you could stay at, like the Transit Hotel. Dave and I have stayed here. If you're coming through here, that location is fantastic. We were by the B gates in Terminal 3, so that's where
There is so much delicious food. Not only is there everything that you see right here, there's also a full menu that you can pretty much order anything that you want or that you could imagine. Sadly, it was in the middle of the night, so neither Dave nor I were really that hungry, so we just had a little bit of ice cream.
I'm exhausted, but I'm super excited for this flight. A380 to Toronto, here we come. See you later, Dubai. We're off to Toronto.
There's a total of 14 first class suites on the upper deck of the A380. Now, it is kind of jammed in there. There's no overhead storage, so you put your backpack, your roller actually goes underneath where the TV is. I have been fortunate enough to fly Emirates First several different times, and they've recently redone their menu. You can actually take this home with you, and it has a lot of really interesting information about all of the different wines. They have the most extensive wine selection of any airline in the world. And it's just a cool collectible. I have to admit, I have no idea what I'm doing with caviar. The only time I ever eat anything this fancy is when I'm on these kind of flights. So I kind of just whip it all together. But it is delicious. And if you ever fly Emirates First, get the meze, the Arabic meze platter. It is phenomenal. It is just delicious. The food is very, 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 very good. With everything turned off, it was time to hop into bed. They actually made my bed and I forgot to record it. So then I kind of made it back up to take a few pictures, but I managed to try a few of these little face creams. It was so dry on the flight for some reason. Anyways, managed to get a few hours sleep and then decided to have a little bit of breakfast, and I ordered the dosas, which is one of my favorites.
Let's try this dosa, it looks delicious. Okay, we are in the shower suites, and look at how big this thing is. I've got my whole roller out so I can easily change. Clothes hung up, and then look at all of the amenities that they give you. Lotions, you've got your shampoo, conditioner, anything to brush your teeth, you can shave your face, all of this stuff. All right, we're gonna hop in the shower. Okay, we are all changed.
This was a very refreshing shower, and I tried to shave. Well, I did shave in the shower, kind of blind, and if you can see, I absolutely hacked the side of my face up, but it was still very dry. We had a little bit of coffee. We had one more glass of Dom Perignon. What a trip.
I got 20 minutes. Well, Dave, was it worth the points and the fees? That's true. Never been disappointed. It's fantastic. Lounge was awesome. Amazing flight. 14 hours. Now we're in Toronto. Got to go through immigration, and then we both fly back down to the States. But buddy trip 2025, major success. 7 incredible cabins. Oh yeah. And we're out. Oh, so sad to say goodbye. So sad. Dave.
If you're keeping track, that was 509,000 points and just under $3,000 per person. Now keep in mind, 180,000 points and 1,300 of it was just on Emirates alone. So we could have done it for a lot less. Was it worth it? Drop a comment down below, and thank you. Please like, subscribe. We always appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Bye.